All right. What's up, guys? It's Eli. I'm here with Ed, brand new, freshly minted brown belt in Machado Jiu-Jitsu. And we are talking today about, what are we talking about? We're talking about clock choke today. Because I was getting into this discussion recently with a couple different people and talking about how clock choke kind of doesn't get enough love a lot of the time, because it's got a lot of really good versatile ability to be a really effective choke for the turtle position. But a lot of people prioritize taking the back a lot of the time, or attacking the turtle in different ways. The clock choke, though, can have some of the quickest kills from, metaphorically speaking, YouTube, calm down. Some of the quickest kills from turtle position that there are available come from the clock choke. So I thought we would discuss that today, and this is basically how it works. Now, granted, we're going to take this all from the position of turtle, where he's already turtled up, and I'm going to look for getting my grips. But you can transition beginning the clock choke setup, and they will turtle a lot of the time coming into or out of other positions, and then winding up with the clock choke. Taking my opponent into the turtle position here. I want to control in the right way, first of all, so I have to think about where his mobility is going to come from. This can be a very strong position defensively, but also he has all the ability here to have explosive movement because he has all of his limbs underneath his body. Whereas if he were prone on his back, then he would be in a little bit a harder of a position to make explosive movements aside from bridging or shrimping. So whenever he's turtled up, the power of the turtle position, aside from defensively, is that he can explode out of that position, turn to face me, roll away, whatever. So once we get here, I have to take that into consideration. And this knee, I'm gonna post it beside his knee on this side. So it automatically kind of blocks his immediate return to guard position if he wants to retain guard off of me. On the opposite side, my elbow is gonna dig back here into his opposite hip. So what I'm doing effectively is I'm essentially cutting out his ability to turn and face me, put me in the guard immediately, or to invert and roll out in a really effective, efficient way. So I want to monitor those two things. Not that I'm going to 100% stop it just with those two grips, but it's going to slow it down. To be able to get the grip that I need to choke him from here, I want to start in the back of his collar, because look, there's already a space here, and oftentimes that's what happens. There's going to be a little gap. So I'm going to take my 4 fingers here, and I'm going to pull and open that space here. So this is kind of a monitoring hand. What this also does is it pulls the weight back toward his hips. So if he did want to roll over one of his shoulders to turn and replace the guard or invert on me, this is also helping to slow that process down too. So it's about control in the beginning of it. So I've triangulated my position over top of his position to where my knee is posting on this side, I'm controlling the back of his collar, and I'm guarding this side hip over here. So now I've shut down a lot of his explosiveness, a lot of his mobility. Now, to get to the fun stuff, to get to the attacks. So from here, what I'm gonna look for is I wanna try to cut away some of his ability to defend what I'm gonna be looking to choke. So when I take this hand here, I want to reach underneath, and I want to grab that side lapel. So I'll raise up for just 1 second. This side lapel over here. So what that's doing is it's opening that space. I'm twisting and peeling this open, because what that's going to do in just a moment is going to allow me to get this thumb inside the collar from the front area. So I want to go here. I want to start this knuckle of this thumb right here behind his ear, and I want to dig and slide that underneath. And then once it gets there, I want to put my thumb inside that collar, get my good 4-finger grip on the outside of the collar here. And now this alone can choke. The problem is going to be, if I don't have a counter lever to that, it's going to turn him and twist him, and he's going to look to alleviate that pressure. So I have to find some kind of counterbalance to finish the second side of that choke. The first one we can look for is the sliding collar variation. So again, if you sit up for just a second, if I grab the opposite side lapel here, and then I pull it like I'm tightening a necktie, for example, then that's gonna get that choke here. So I go here like that, and that's gonna be one of my first ones. Now, in order to do that, to make the pressure for my body the right way so I don't lose my balance and fall or anything like that, I'm gonna get up on my tiptoes a little bit more and sprawl my hip into him a little deeper, and then I'm gonna pull this arm back like I'm trying to pull my elbow behind my body, keeping his other side lapel in place with my left hand. So what that looks like is this here, and then I look, and I can get that choke right there. Now, alternatively, what you'll see, and this is a typical kind of way people learn the choke rather than that sliding collar, is that they'll look to get this secondary hand here. Because I know as soon as I go into his collar, his hands are typically gonna come up to look to defend his neck. That's what he should do, because he needs to save his life. So to be able to kind of eliminate that, you can grab sleeve, wrist, or hand. Hand, in my opinion, works the best because it controls the ability for him to grab better than anything. And at the wrist, he's a little stronger with his arm. When I grab by the hand, it takes a lot of the strength out of it, a lot of his mobility out of it. So I like to grab that hand position in here. I get the same kind of grip, and again, I'm still gonna come up this way. Now, on this variation, what this allows me to do is it allows me to actually create the clock movement. This is where the clock choke gets its name. It's from the tick-tocking kind of motion that you go around the body in. So whenever I go here, I post up, my secondary leg is gonna come through, one here this way, and then I wanna keep walking this way here like this until his head essentially pops off or he taps, whichever one. So that's how and why the clock choke gets its name, for that kind of ticking around the body that you do to tighten the choke up. So alternatively here, now one of my favorite grips to use on this is neither the sliding collar or the hand position. Those are both great grips, and I use them sometimes depending on what's available. My favorite one that I feel the strongest with is this grip here. Let's turn this way just a little bit. So I get my, same thing, I still get this hand in place, but now this hand here is gonna go and it's gonna grab right here by his quad, because even if the guy's got tight pants on, I can go right here by the knee and get that little finger hold right there. And this doesn't seem like much, but it's very powerful, and it stops a lot of his ability to roll, twist, turn, invert, anything like that. But again, I need to triangulate my base over him to cut down his mobility. So the way I'm gonna look to do that is I'm gonna take my forehead to the ground right up here. He should wind up, his head and shoulders should wind up underneath my lower abdomen at the end of this choke. And again, with me pulling back, trying to touch my elbow back behind my spine like this. So once we get here, I've got the grip here, I come here, I find that spot here. Little bonus tip here, if his pants are just too tight, his legs are too big, pull him this way a little bit, loosen some of the fabric here, the material, and then you can get it. Now I'm gonna dive my forehead to the floor here like this. And then again, I'm still walking forward here this way and pulling. By the time I get here, like his head shouldn't be attached to his body any longer. So it's an extremely tight choke. You've seen this used very effectively in competition, and it really cuts out the guy's ability to twist and turn, anything like that. Often the times, the ways that he looks to go and turn any direction, he's just gonna tighten the noose a little bit more. Let's look for a couple different weird little variations real quick. One of these is here, and you don't see this a whole lot anymore, but I think it's a really good one. I still use it myself. I'm gonna go opposite way, like this. So I'm gonna get like an inverted grip here. Insert your own joke at that point, but I'm gonna go inverted grip like this, and I wanna go around his neck. Now, what's happening is the 4 fingers are going in the collar rather than the thumb. Thumb from this side, 4 fingers over here from this side. And what I'm gonna look to do from there is, again, I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna get on the hand, on this one, or on the wrist, and then I wanna step over here this way. So this is very similar to like a Peruvian or Chilean necktie. So I go here, I keep the leg heavy, and then I pull up this direction. Now, the benefit of this one here is what direction can Ed possibly go to alleviate the pressure? He can't turn and face me because he'll tighten the noose. He has to turn away from me. If I feel him starting to kind of sprawl and turn away from me, this arm starts to get light all of a sudden. So if I'm not getting this grip here, then as he starts to twist and turn, he's gonna put himself back here into an armbar. And then I keep the grip here on the neck. I can finish the armbar this way, and it's a very tight, very powerful thing. And the great thing about it is because of the threat, how the threat's coming in for the neck, he gives me the arm. Oftentimes the maxim holds true in Jiu-Jitsu. If I want the arm, I'm gonna bug the neck. If I want the neck, I'm gonna bug the arm. He's gotta split the difference. He's gotta give me one of those opportunities. There is a little bit of a relationship, distant as it is, maybe like third cousin relationship, second cousin relationship between I haven't mapped it out, between the clock choke and the crucifix. So what a good way to attack for the clock choke a lot of times is that here, it's not only this hand over here that he can defend with, it's also this hand, so he can be blocking me out this way. So the same way that I would set up the crucifix, if I take my knee and I insert it back here in this space, and then from there I shave forward, it has a tendency to push his hand forward as well. So now we can come here and I can pull and scrape that leg away. Now he has 0 hands left to be able to defend this choke with, and then I can finish from here. If I don't feel like I'm stable enough to finish from there, then I can just keep it, I can roll out, and then from here we can look to finish from the crucifix and finish that sliding collar choke here like this, or keep the hands, or maybe go single wing, whatever you kind of pick at that point, because you've got him prone, you've got both of his arms isolated, and it's very difficult for him to defend. So anyway, this is kind of a fairly quick, concise guide to the clock choke. There's a lot of little details in there, but this is a YouTube video. If you want more explanation than that, go watch like class instructional videos of mine on Patreon or whatever. And also got some more instructional stuff coming out for this clock choke too. Hope this helps. Let me know if I left out some variations that you guys like to use, because I'm always looking to steal other people's stuff. So thank you, Ed. Appreciate you. Congratulations again on the brown belt. And keep watching, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Watch, subscribe, like. What all stuff are they supposed to do? Notifications.
Notifications.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah. So do all that, please. And thanks for watching that Jiu-Jitsu channel.